Here we go. Outstanding. Okay, Geraint, do you want to get us going?
Yeah, no problems at all. Thank you so much. Morning, Pontus.
Morning.
Congratulations, first of all, getting to the final.
Thank you.
It's probably quite an obvious question to start off with, Pontus, obviously because you didn't know who your opponents were now until last night. It's Fulham. I suppose it's your thoughts on playing them, but on playing Fulham in a one-off winner-takes-all game. Just your initial thoughts. Now we know that it's Brentford Fulham.
First of all, I think it's going to be a fantastic game, a good football game against two good sides. I expected it to be them before the game yesterday, and I watched the game, and then when Cardiff scored an early goal, I thought, yeah, maybe it's gonna be Cardiff, but yeah, I think Fulham were the better side over two legs, so it's gonna be a good game. But yeah, like I said to some of the players in my team, like I expected this to be the final already before the Corona break, or when we went into the Corona break. I expected the final would probably be us, and then if we can't reach top two, and yeah, now we're there, so it's gonna be nice.
Two-part question, Pontus. What does this mean for, in one part, the club? What does this mean for the players to be in a final of this magnitude, to be so close to the Premier League? So the two parts are, I suppose, if you can give a reaction what it means to the club overall, but also to the players. You know, it's a real mix of yourself, experienced players and young players as well. So those two parts, please.
No, I mean, to what it means for the club, I think it's quite obvious for everyone that it means everything. I mean, this is what we're fighting for, yeah, as a club for a lot of years, especially this year. And we know the financial thing, I mean, how big it is to play in Premier League, one of the biggest leagues, if not the biggest league in the world. And yeah, so that's from the club perspective. But for us, players and squad and the staff and everyone, is of course the same. This is what we've been fighting for the whole season. Been fighting for since more or less day one. So it's a dream hopefully come true to get through to Premier League. But we're 90 minutes away against a tough opponent. Probably I think Fulham thinks the same. So yeah, it's gonna be, like I said, a tough fight.
Football obviously came back now in June, but there are no fans. Everyone seemed to coped pretty well given what's been going on with COVID-19. But a final like this is normally, it's more than just a game. It's a huge occasion. There's pressure created by the crowd often as well. How's the game going to be different? How do you approach it differently with the experiences now? You've had 10 a dozen games where you've had no crowds. A final where there is no crowd, a part of the element. How do you approach the game, Pontus?
No, I mean, first of all, it's of course going to be special going to a stadium, taking 90,000. There's going to be 100 people watching in there. So of course that's a special thing. But it's not going to be the first one. Now we've done this for 11 games in a row. So I will not say that we're used to it, but more used to it now than we were against Fulham in the first when we played them after the Corona break. So of course it's going to be special, but I think we cooperate really well during those 11 games. We talk a lot on the pitch, not only me. I think all of the players on the pitch, and then the staff help me from the side, and then we have Matthew, the owner, and his crew around on the stadium. We can hear them as well. So I don't like it, of course. I want to have fans. I want to have a full Wembley, full Griffin Park, and full the new stadium as well. So I don't want to get used to it, but at the moment we are quite used to it, and I think we cooperate it quite well.
The jeopardy of the playoffs, any club, whether it's Championship, League One, League Two, for Brentford as well, it's the stats of, there's stats and stats. 5 playoff semi-final losses, 3 playoff final losses. But what is different about Brentford this time around? There does feel to be a difference. It's difficult for somebody like me and probably others to put their finger on it. What is different about Brentford this time?
I mean, with all of the respect for the past, but I mean, I've only been here 1 year, so I actually no idea what the results been the other years. Of course, I want to know as much as I can about the club that I play for, but to be fair, I don't know I don't know any results in the past that Brentford have done in the playoff. So we're just focusing on this one. I think that's the right way to do. A lot of new players, and I think none of those players have played in playoff with Brentford before. So I think that's just for you guys to talk about.
Yeah, you're probably right there. Yeah, one for you though, Pontus. You've spoken in an earlier answer about what it means to the club and the players collectively. What does this mean for you? You've been in the playoffs. the semi-final defeat with Leeds last year. What does this particularly mean, for you? You've got to a final. You're on the verge of going into the Premier League with a club like Brentford, with its history and a new stadium going forward as well. What does this personally mean for you, Pontus?
No, I mean at the moment it means everything. If worst case scenario we lose, it's gonna be probably quite tough to looking forward to play another 46 games. But that's just what it is. But at the moment, of course, it means everything. We have to go out on Tuesday to enjoy it, of course, but to more or less give everything we have and a little bit more to do all we can to win the game. Like I said, it's going to be a tough test, but for me personally, I mean, this is what I've been fighting for since the last year when I lost the semi-final with Leeds, and that was also why I was quite emotional on the semi-final against Swansea when we won the game, because we've been waiting for it for 1 year, and now we are in the final, so of course now this means everything for me.
I think that's my six up. I know Chris has got an awful lot of people to get through, so big thanks for.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
Very much.
Okay, Phil, you're up.
Hi, Pontus.
Hi.
Firstly, both games against Swansea. How important was it after the seemingly disappointing, sort of outcome of both the Stoke and the Barnsley game? How important was it to really show that character and bounce back in both games against Swansea?
I mean, it's always special when you play over 2 legs. I mean, we can't go out in the first game, especially away, and just go all in. Of course, we wanted to have a good result and win, but it was a special. I think until the red card, we did a quite okay game. A little bit, we had Swansea had a good big chance in first half when they headed into the post, and then they had a penalty, and then they scored one. So I think 1-1 was maybe a fair result, but we knew that at Griffin Park, with everything to play for that, we were probably not gonna kill them, but probably gonna make a good result and go through. So we knew if we just had a good start, and we were lucky with 2 early goals in first half. I think it was not a top performance, but a really good performance, and probably one of the best since we came back since the Corona break.
This defensive solidity that you've got as a unit, so let's say it's a unit of 6, with Christian playing in front of you as he has done for most of the season. How important has that relationship been with David behind you, you and Ethan alongside you, and Christian sitting there? That really has developed as a unit, isn't it?
No, I think it gives a belief to everyone that we know that we defend very well, but we know that when we defend well, we always attack well as well. So for us, the primary thing is always to defend well, and that comes from, you can look at all his performance against Swansea. It's one of the best defensive performances from a striker I've ever seen. I don't know how much he ran. I know how much he ran, but it was just unbelievable. And to see his numbers and the GPS afterwards was almost fire on it. So it comes from him. When Ollie have a good game defensively, we always defend well as a team as well. So a big credit to not only to Ollie, to Said and Brian as well, but especially to Ollie in this game.
Yeah, I don't know what his stats were like on Wednesday night. That must have been extraordinary. Mateus, also when I spoke to him on Wednesday after the game, we talked about that actually for the first time in a while, you've got a bit of a gap between Wednesday and Tuesday. It's almost a week. It's quite unusual. It does give you a little bit of extra recovery time ahead of a massively important game. Yeah,
exactly. I mean, we know when we have energy and feel fit and in good shape, we know that we normally play good. So now we have 6 days between the games, which is it's a lot if you compare to what it's been the last couple of weeks. So we had a good session today, then we're off tomorrow, and then we're ready to go again on obviously Sunday, and then we have 2 good sessions before the game. So hopefully we're gonna go out there and fly on Tuesday.
Do the previous games against Fulham this season have any bearing on this match, or can you not consider what you've done? Or do you learn from what worked and how you can take that forward?
I think it's going to be a similar game to the other games against them. Of course, we won 2 of them, which is good. It gives us a little bit of confidence, but this is a game that lives its own life, I think. I think this question is more better for you to ask them than us. Of course, it's good for us that we won 2 out of 2 against them, but I think, like I said, it's going to be another game, a special game. But like I said, we know if we play good, then hopefully we can make a good result.
And they're not a one-man team, despite the importance of AlexanderArnold. You know that very well, that they've got danger elsewhere, haven't they? If he's playing or if he isn't playing.
I mean, I like Mitrovic both as a person, and I like to play against him as well. He's a good striker, a good guy. So it's always a good test to play against him. I don't know if I should say hopefully he plays, but he's like I said, a good guy, a good person, and a good player. So we'll see on Tuesday. I think for you, looking on the game from the outside, it's going to be nice if he plays.
And just finally from me, Pontus, just in regards to your leadership role as a captain, what are your final words? What do you think your final words will be going into the match of huge significance? It's history in the making, isn't it, for you and your team?
I think I'm running out of speeches because I've had so many speeches the last couple of weeks, so I don't know what to say anymore. Actually, Brian and Bremen, we had a really, really good speech before the game in the warm-up against Swansea. It was really emotional, and that gave us a lot of energy. So hopefully someone other can come up with a good speech on Tuesday, but I think the game talks for itself. But yeah, I will try to find out something to say before the game.